Leos, hello my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Leos, I did another read for us and I had to scrap it because it was just, anyways, so I decided to do it again, and this time we got the Mirror in the Castle, the Apocalypse, the Nectar, the Mountain, and the River. The cards in the last one at the beginning were a lot better, but in the middle they were a lot worse. So I guess we'll start with the bad. Maybe we'll get the good in the middle this time. But I feel like there's just this idea of holding on to a fractured idea, a fractured image of where it is exactly that you thought that you were supposed to be, because it's what fit into this fractured idea. But realizing that when you try to fit yourself into the fractured ideas of others, you find yourself very quickly limited in your growth. Okay, it might look really pretty, but the reality of it is actual shit. And then I think as a result, experiencing a lot of ends, right? I think feeling like if we don't figure out what our value is and fast, we're going to miss out on our opportunities for what it is that we really want, that possibility of flourishing. I don't know, it just feels like this very last minute, pull a rabbit out of your hat. But the rabbit that you're pulling out of your hat is all of the value that you actually have that you weren't able to use because you got capped out in that fractured image and that idea of where it is that you were supposed to be. Again, just feeling really disheartened, feeling, there's just, how do I get out of this? How do I overcome this? Did I do this to myself? And if I did this to myself, how is it that I can make sure that I undo it? How can I fix this? Or I don't even get the idea of fixing something. Well, but maybe, because if it's an issue that we have with ourselves, of our own self-limiting beliefs, then that's what we need to fix, right? And I feel like there's an idea here of really managing to pull that off by standing in the truth of who you are and speaking on the opportunity that you want. Because I don't care what anybody says, if you don't go for it, you never know. If you don't try, you always fail. And I feel like there was almost this idea of not trying because what if I fail? And the reality is that I think a lot of us have had to face is that if we don't try, we are guaranteeing our own failure. And we've done the work to understand what value it is that we have. I think that we're moving forward in a new direction that's kind of feeling like pulling us up out of the wasteland. And I'm super thankful for that. All right, Leos, let's get some more clarifiers. Let's see what else we get. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, again, that idea of having to go within, having to understand and uncover your values so that you know what it is that you bring to the table so that you can move forward accordingly. Because I kind of just get this feeling of people looking at you and thinking, you don't really mean what you say. You're not really going to do what you said you were going to do. And again, Leo, is this idea of focusing on your skill, focusing on your craft, and it's just kind of you're right. I'm not going to do what I said that I was going to do if I don't deal with me. And the only way I can do what I said I was going to do is if I deal with me. And I feel like there's just this idea of you dealt with you, and now you're ready to move forward and speak on the value and the love that you have to give to any given situation. Okay, Leos. This one feels a lot less aggressive than the last one did. The Hermit. Again, yes, just this idea of like needing to pull away. I feel like, yeah, I just feel like this acknowledgement, like, yeah, you're right. I'm not doing what I said that I was going to do because I've been too afraid of failing. I've been too afraid, you know, I mean, like sometimes our biggest strengths are also our biggest weaknesses, right? And I feel like there's been this struggle of is my biggest strength my biggest weakness? Am I just destined to fail? Am I just, you know what I mean? And having to really wrestle with that, and go within, discover your value, so that instead of people looking at you like you say one thing and you do another, you're like, okay, bet. That was just the antagonization that I needed, right? Leos. Nine of Swords, Seven of Cups. Again, yes, this energy of like, what if they're right? What if that's true? What if that's all I'm ever going to be? You know what I mean? Just like this intense self-doubt. And I feel like you're bringing that, there's justice, because instead of allowing for the doubt to take hold, you're trusting in the value that you have and the expansion that you're capable of. Leos. The Desert. Yeah, again, it just feels like this, I mean, like this idea of a mirage. And it's like, okay, I don't know, you know, it's like people can put you in a box and then they can say to you, that's all you are, that's all you're ever going to be. You know, I think of the idea of like somebody playing judge, and I mean, I don't know many Leos who aren't very disciplined in some form or fashion. You know, and it's just kind of like, well, you can be really disciplined in an area of your life, and then you get focused on that discipline, you know what I mean? And it's like, maybe that discipline got you so far, but it still hasn't gotten you to where it is that you need to be. And people are starting to look at you and they're like, oh, you did an awful lot of training for nothing. You did an awful lot of talking about how you were going to do this and you haven't done any of it. You know what I mean? And I think hearing that enough times, I just feel like this process of like allowing for it to dishearten you and then allowing for the anger to take over. And when the anger takes over, the tell me I can't and I will takes over. And I feel like we're in that tell me I can't and I will. Watch. Watch me turn this water into wine. All right, Leos. Well, it's better than the last one anyways. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I hope this resonates with us though. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.